Hi everyone. Today we are doing the next free workshop for kids starting from 6 years old and older using Scratch program. As you know, Scratch is designed by MIT for younger kids to understand the basics of coding and to create amazing animation and projects and even kids' own games. So today, Romy is going to explain how to create Labyrinth project in Scratch. So Romy, could you please explain what website are you using in order to create Scratch projects?
In order to create projects from Scratch, you go to the website scratch.mit.edu, and if you don't have an account yet, then you'll create an account on Scratch, and then you'll be able to create your own projects. And this came too. So there's also a version you can install on your computer.
Any resources, so this is completely free. This website is completely free. So once you have an account there, you can create different kind of projects. And we hope that after you watch this workshop, you will be able to create your own Labyrinth project by your own. But anyway, if you have any questions, please reach out us at kiddyschool.online and sign up for our free lessons, and you will be able to get one-on-one lesson with a personal instructor. Thank you very much.
The project we'll be making will look something like this, where you'll be able to control your character by moving using the arrow keys. And then when you touch the edges of the labyrinth, it will restart your game. As well as also if you touch the edge, it will restart your game too. Now how we create the project. So to create the project, you'll have to first create your labyrinth.
Oh, Romy, by the way, I think Kamal, a student, just joined our meeting. You can continue, but yes, let's see. I type it. I'll send him a message in chat.
So you'll create a backdrop of your labyrinth, and you want to use very simple colors that you will be able to remember, because here you can see how to choose colors. And sometimes, and if you don't do it in the exact spot, for example, if you were to do green here, and even though it looks the same, the computer doesn't recognize it as the same color because it's a little bit of a shade darker. So it needs to be colors that are easily remembered, that you can remember exactly where they are. For example, the colors I would use usually is either white, black, or red. So I'm going to use black to make my labyrinth because that's a color I can easily remember the exact spot of it on the computer. So the way we're going to make it, we're going to make a little bit of passageways which turns and passageways where you can choose which path to go on. And to do that, we'll press here on this square tab, and we'll just stretch out a square for the start of our path. It's okay if you go a little bit off of the edge, because as you can see here, it won't show it. So you can keep creating this labyrinth. And also you can make it bigger or smaller. When you do that, it will show you little blue dots here. You can make it bigger and smaller and customize it the way you like it. And sometimes you're going to block the path. You know, you want to have it go the wrong way, and they'll have to turn back around in order to come to the end of the labyrinth.
Romy, and we can use this labyrinth as a game, as a background for a game, for a future game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You can make this into a sprite. You can make the labyrinth a sprite instead of a backdrop. And then for your backdrop, add something from the Scratch library, which you can do by clicking here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be able to choose a backdrop from.
Nice. Yeah, this is cool.
And it's the same thing for sprites, which if I wanted to not create my own sprite, I could search something I want, and then I have all of these stuff. Oops. And you can always press backspace if you want to delete something. I like that. And now that's your labyrinth, which really doesn't have to look like this exactly, especially because it's a labyrinth. And this code works for any shapes of your labyrinth, and the exit can be anywhere and everything. So now we have to create how do they know where the exit is? We're gonna take something like a simple color like red or white, and we're going to place it right at the exit. Or you want to outline not to be black, because then it will just start the game over. So you can place that here, and then the computer will know. We'll code it so that when your sprite touches the exit, it will say, "Congratulations, you won the game." So this is what your labyrinth looks like. And now we're going to create our sprite. Otherwise, there's nobody can control. You can always choose a sprite from the library. For example, this ball. And I'm going to create my own little red ball. Even an orange ball, it doesn't really matter. But to fit my color theme, I'm gonna create this little ball. And I wanna make sure, I wanna take it and make sure that it fits between all of the spaces in my game. Otherwise, and it touches the walls, I want it to be a good distance away. Otherwise, if it will be too easy for it to touch the walls, and it will be pretty much impossible to get the game ready. So now we know it fits everywhere, and we can get started on the code. So drag it over to where you want it to start. Then we'll code it to where you want it to start, but that will give you the X and the Y coordinates of where it is on the board, so that you can you will be able to easily see what the coordinates are, which will become useful. So we're going to start by adding the event block when flag clicked, which is just saying when the green flag is clicked to start the game. Now, what does it need to do when the game is started? It needs to go to the starting point, which is where it's standing right now. And you can see that these are the coordinates, and because it's standing right here on the blue motion blocks here, it already has it written down. Say go to X, we can go to X minus 207, Y 143. So like I did on here, you can also start on the bottom rather than at the top, but it doesn't matter because it'll still be the same controls. So I'll have it do that. And now we'll have to do kind of controls. We'll have to have it control itself. We'll have to make the control. So we're going to take 4 of these when space key pressed. You can see there's a little arrow here, which means there's going to be a drop down bar, and it will give you all the keys on your keyboard, and you can choose which key you want. So we're going to be using the arrows. You can always use WASD too. So when up arrow key pressed, when down arrow key pressed for one of them, when right and left. We're going to also take we're going to take 2, change X by 10. We're going to take 2, change Y by 10. Now, you can see that there are options in all of the blocks. On almost all of the blocks, you can see that there are options to edit how much it changes by, and what arrow key is pressed, and the coordinates, and all this stuff. So you can customize it to what you think fits your game. So if you need help remembering what the X and Y is, over here next to X, you can see there's a little arrow sign that shows you that X is left and right. You can see next to the Y is up and down. So for the Y, we're going to put it in the up arrow and the down arrow keys. For the right arrow, we're going to do X. And also for the left. So we want it to be 20 instead of 10 because 10 in Scratch is not a lot at all. Just put 20 on all of them. But you can see now that it only goes, even if I'm pressing the left key right now, and it's still going forward because I said 20. And going by 20, which means it will keep on going forward and forward and forward, and it will never go back or down. So how to make it go down? In front of the 20, we're going to add a minus sign, which means it will go down instead of up. And then in front of the left, I should switch that here. In front of the left, we'll do minus 22. And now you can see that it can also go backwards and not only forwards. And you can see it's kind of going through the edges now and also going through the black bars, which we don't want to happen because the point of the game, the challenge of the game is that when it touches the edge or when it touches the black bars around the labyrinth, it will restart the game and go back to the starting point. So how we're going to do that? We're going to move everything to the side and make space for a new area. You could, so before I was trying to make this code, put it on the when flag click bar. But because we're controlling it, it will only work if we're doing it on the arrow bar, on the arrow keys, little areas. But at first I thought I would have to put a separate one of these, and I would have to duplicate it for each one of the arrow keys. But there was a different way, and so I'm going to show you how to use that way instead. We're going to take one space key press, and we're going to use the drop down bar and click any. So when any of the keys are pressed at all, this can happen. When any of the arrows are pressed. We'll say, we're going to go to the control bar and we're going to say if, not the if else, because nothing is going to happen if this doesn't happen. We're going to take if, we're going to take 3 if then. So because you can see over here that there's nothing in the if bar, so nothing happens in the if then area. Which means we'll have to find something to put in here. We're going to go to the sensing bars, and you can see there's the ones that are shaped like this, and those are the ones that we're going to use. So if touching edge for the second one, for example, I'll have to go back to the beginning point, go to X, this X and Y, and if your ball is on this point, for example, right now, and so you can always just take this one that is when flag click, right click it, duplicate it, and then you have a whole new block right there. And also if you want to delete a block, for example, this duplicate that I don't need, put it over to where the bar is. Doesn't matter, you don't need to put it in the same spot. For example, I can go to events right now, and I'll just click there, and then it will disappear. I'll just drag it there and click, and it will disappear. Now we need to do what happens when it goes onto the black bars that are the outside of the labyrinth. And the reason, and here is the part that becomes useful, that when I told you to do colors that are easy to remember the exact position of them, for example, red and white and black, because those are all on the very edge. here's where that becomes useful, because you could see here it says when touching color. Right now it's standing on green, and we want to move it to the exact color we had before. So if you can move it to the exact black that you had, because black is a very easy color to remember. So if touching color black, and here we're going to also do the red, which is also an easy color to remember, because in the computer, because it's the very first color on here, you can see it's the very last and the very first color. And so we'll put that on the last if then. And what happens again is that we're going to put x minus 207 and y 143. We're going to do those and we'll add them to the, and we'll add them, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to say go to the x and y, which it's on right now. And then once you play the game, you can see that now if I touch the black, it just restarts. It just restarts my whole game, as well as if I touch the edge, it restarts it too. And now we can see that this code here worked. Now the next thing we need to do is what happens when it touches the ending line, the finishing line. Because if you can see that now when I'm coming through here and to get to the finishing line, sorry, it's a bit hard to get there because of the labyrinth, the black bars. Okay, so I see I have a problem here because there is no way I can get through these two bars over here. How do I fix that? I go to my backdrop bar here, and I take the eraser. And I erase a little bit of it so that it's actually possible to get through, just like that. And so now when I move my sprite, I move my character, there is a chance that I can get through, and I can. But you can see now, because the red here. Oh wait, I put the code right now. I put it so that if it does the red, then it goes there. Well, that's not true. We don't want that to happen. What we wanted to do is we wanted to show a screen that says, "Congratulations, you made it out of the labyrinth." You can see now when I go to the red, I just go to the edge and start the game over. We don't want that to happen because we don't want it to be able to go through the red. We want to stop at the red and finish the game. First of all, we have to create our screen that congratulates them on finishing the game. We're going to go to backdrops and we're going to create a new one here. Paint. And you just do paint. Or you can always choose one from the library. For example, is there anything for grass? No. If I want to choose this, or I could choose this here, and then I can put some text on it. I'm going to convert it to vector because I'm more comfortable with that. I'll click on text here, and you decorate it however much you want. We'll say, oh, we can change the color too. So for text, there's fill here, and then change it to white. Well, now you could see went a bit of off of the edge. We don't want that to happen. Okay, even put some space enters here so that it kind of stands out as if it's completely two different sprites. Do that and move it a little bit over right to the center. But this little circle that we have here, a little sprite, is bothering us. You can see here, a little sprite here is kind of bothering us. And also when I press, there's a few problems right here. So when you're on Scratch, the way to fix your mistakes and the way to find out if there are mistakes, you just press the flag button and just go through your game, go through your project, go through your animation, and see if at some point anything has gone wrong. And if it has, what makes Scratch really nice is that you can always just go back and fix it. You can always just go to your character and fix it. And you don't have to look too much for the wrong code because you can just see on the project what you got wrong. So now I click the flag and I already see a few problems. When it goes to the congratulations you made it out of the labyrinth, our little sprite is still standing there, as well as when I click the flag button, it's not in the labyrinth, it's on the congratulations bar, and they still haven't made it out of the labyrinth. They haven't even seen the labyrinth. So we need to fix that too. We'll go to our sprite here, and we're going to add more to the when flag clicked. We're going to add more to the if touching color red. Color red is the end. So if touching color red, all it's going to do, it's going to be in the looks bar. Both of the things we need to add in there will be in the looks bar. All of the things we need to fix are in the looks bar. The looks is what decides it decides what shows up on the screen. For example, it decides when you want to switch a backdrop or switch a costume on your sprite or switch or say something or think something or change the size and the color and the effects of your sprite, and when the sprite needs to hide and when it needs to overlap something and all of those stuff, those are all in the looks bar. So when you want to switch a backdrop, that's what you do. So now, what do we need to do when it's touching the color red? So because we don't want it to show up on our congratulations screen, what it's going to do is it's going to say hide. It's going to hide itself so that it doesn't show up on the screen anymore. Now, you can also see that another one of the problems, probably the biggest problem, is that it's stuck on the congratulations screen. How do we do that? We're going to go when flag clicked, and we're going to tell it switch backdrop to this backdrop that is the labyrinth, which is backdrop 1. And when the flag is clicked, you can see that. But once again, now once it touches the red, now we have another problem. That when it touches the red, it doesn't switch the backdrop, and the ball is hidden forever because now it's gone. You can't play with it. So we need to say that when the flag is clicked, as soon as the flag is clicked, it shows up. And also that when it's touching the ending point, it switches to the congratulations backdrop because right now nothing is happening. So the first thing is when flag clicked, we're going to go down in the looks bar again, and we're going to drag the show block to the when flag clicked event block, which will make it show up when the flag is clicked. And now nothing happens when I touch the red. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it, switch backdrop to, and we're going to put it under the if then touching color red bar. Or in your case, it could be touching color white, or touching color black, or touching color green. Oh no, you can choose whatever you want and use it whatever you want as a color. And like I said already, customize it however you like it, because it's never a good project if it's the exact same as another one, because you want to get creative with whatever you have. Now you can see that our game is working. So Here you go, right there. And get to the end. Congratulations. And also when you touch the black, it restarts. And when you touch the edge, it also does. So right now there's a little bit of a problem that I noticed that seems a little bit empty. Our game, something seems a little bit blank about it. How? I think we need to add some music. So the way we can do that, there's always a pop sound that shows up at the beginning, and you can delete that because we don't need that. But because you're not going to code it into the game, you can always just leave it there. How you can get a sound? You can upload a sound from your computer that you might have, any music you might have. You can record something, which I don't want to do. You can choose a sound, or you can do a random sound. For example, I have this right now, which I don't want to use because sometimes you just don't know what sound to choose, so you'll just choose a random one. I'm just going to click, and we're going to go to the sound library of Scratch. Right now, you can see whenever you hover over one of these purple play buttons, a sound plays. But if you're looking for something very specific, like space, like boop, you just search boop, and there will be this. But I'm just trying to look for a little bit of background music. Now it doesn't say anywhere background music. You can't search background music. This isn't Google. You're gonna go up here where there are all of the topics, and I'm gonna go to loops, which is basically some music that you can just loop and loop and loop, and when it loops, it sounds like one whole song. So you'll go here. I have this song that might fit, so I'm going to use it. And how I'm going to code that into my game is I'm going to take it, I'm going to go to the sound bar, and I'll do play sound cave until done. But this time, if we just drag it over to the one flag clicked, it will only play once. So how we're going to fix that? We're going to go to our control bar, where there is over here there is a forever block. We'll put that under our when flag clicked. You want to put it at the very end because you can't put anything under the forever block, because whatever's in the forever block goes over and over and over again, and then nothing else can happen. So whatever you want to happen in the block, you want to put the forever at the end, and then everything else on top of it. It will all go at the same time, so it doesn't matter unless you tell it to wait seconds between. We're going to say play sound cave until done forever. So now we can play our game. And it's playing a little bit of music while I play my game, so that it's a bit more fun. And that is the game. So we're done with our game, and
thank you very much, Romy, for your amazing class. I hope to see you again next week. Join us next week on Saturday. Thank you and bye-bye.